Less than 2 weeks ago, I posted a video about Facebook cracking down on blasphemous content against Islam. Today, a student named Mashal Khan was beaten to death on a university campus by his fellow students for doing what I do every single day, namely criticizing Islam. Reuters reports a mob beat a Pakistani student to death at his university campus on Thursday after he was accused of sharing blasphemous content on social media, university and police officials said. A group of about 10 students shouted Allahu Akbar during the attack on fellow student Mashal Khan, who was stripped naked and beaten with planks until his skull caved in as other students looked on, video obtained by Reuters showed. Blasphemy is a highly sensitive topic in Muslim-majority Pakistan, where insulting the Prophet Muhammad is a capital crime that has dozens languishing on death row and where even an accusation can lead to violence. In recent months, Pakistan's government has been vocal about the issue, with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif issuing an order last month for removal of blasphemous content online and saying anyone who posted such content should face strict punishment under the law. Now, why was Mashal Khan beaten to death? He was beaten to death because Muhammad ordered his followers to kill people for making fun of him. When Muhammad took Mecca, he gave his followers a list of people who were to be killed even if they were found hiding beneath the curtains of the Kaaba. Let's read about 3 of them in Ibn Asaq, pages 550 to 551. Another was Abdullah ibn Qatal of Banu Taym ibn Ghalib. He had become a Muslim, and the apostle sent him to collect the poor tax in company with one of the Ansar. He had with him a freed slave who served him. He was a Muslim. When they halted, he ordered the latter to kill a goat for him and prepare some food, and went to sleep. When he woke up, the man had done nothing, so he attacked and killed him and apostatized. He had 2 singing girls, Fartana and her friend, who used to sing satirical songs about the apostle, so he ordered that they should be killed with him. Think about this. Abdullah killed someone and apostatized, so Muhammad ordered his followers to kill him. They found him clinging to the curtains of the Kaaba and they ripped open his belly. But Muhammad also issued a death sentence for the 2 singing girls, and all they did was sing satirical songs about him. So, according to Muhammad, what's the penalty for making fun of him? Death. In Sunan Abu Dawud 4361, Muhammad makes it clear that brutally murdering someone is perfectly acceptable as long as the person made fun of him. It was narrated that Ikrimah said, Ibn Abbas told us that a blind man had a female slave who had borne him a child, who reviled the Prophet and disparaged him, and he told her not to do that, but she did not stop, and he rebuked her, but she paid no heed. One night she started to disparage and revile the Prophet, so he took a dagger and put it in her stomach and pressed on it and killed her. There fell between her legs a child who was smeared with the blood that was there. The next morning, mention of that was made to the Prophet, and he assembled the people and said, By Allah, I adjure the man who did this to stand up. The blind man stood up and came through the people, trembling, and he came and sat before the Prophet. He said, O Messenger of Allah, I am the one who did it. She used to revile you and disparage you, and I told her not to do it, but she did not stop, and I rebuked her, but she paid no heed. I have 2 sons from her, who are like 2 pearls, and she was good to me. Last night she started to revile you and disparage you, and I took a dagger and placed it on her stomach, and I pressed on it until I killed her. The Prophet said, Bear witness that no retaliation is due for her blood. So a Muslim killed the mother of his own children for making fun of Muhammad. If Muhammad didn't want his followers doing that sort of thing, this would have been a really good time to say it. Instead, Muhammad said that there was to be no retaliation against the man for slaughtering the mother of his own children. Here we are, 14 centuries later, and Muhammad's followers are still murdering people for making fun of him. Why? Because that's what Islam tells them to do, and no one bothers to challenge Islam. Islam isn't going to be seriously challenged inside the Muslim world because, as we can see, Muhammad's mob beats critics to death. So the only people who can seriously challenge Islam are people outside the Muslim world. But our politicians and news agencies and social media platforms do the exact opposite. They defend Islam and condemn anyone who criticizes it. By cracking down on blasphemous content, Facebook is defending and enforcing Sharia blasphemy laws. Instead of condemning Pakistan's blasphemy laws, Facebook is saying, "We agree with you that criticizing Muhammad is unacceptable." And here, another young man is brutally murdered because the ideology goes unchallenged. There's a lot of blood on a lot of hands, my friends. Mashal Khan wasn't just beaten to death by a group of Muslims shouting Allahu Akbar. He was beaten to death by CNN and MSNBC and the BBC and Facebook and every other company that shields Islam from criticism. And more Mashal Khans are going to be beaten to death until politicians and reporters stop pretending that this has nothing to do with Islam and step aside so that those of us who actually care about victims of jihad can protect future generations from the teachings of Muhammad. In the meantime, to you Pakistani cowards who like to beat people to death for making fun of your fake prophet, I suggest you check out my YouTube page. Then ask yourselves, is Allah only God in Pakistan, or is he God in America as well? I eagerly await your response.